Hello everybody, Michael here for Tactica Imperialis. Welcome to today's video. Today is going to be something a little bit different. As many of you will know, a recent little movie was released for 40k called the Lord Inquisitor Prologue. I'm sure most of you have seen it. If you haven't, link in the description. So today I have decided to make a review for this. I know, cop out, most people are probably doing this. But I've watched it for the first time about 15 minutes ago. And I wanted to share my thoughts on it because, well, we don't get many of these, do we? We don't get many 40k films or things of any kind. And this one was particularly special because it's all 3D render. It was a really ambitious project. It looked really ambitious, and it isn't done. Obviously, this is just a prologue, but what we've got so far, I just wanted to offer my thoughts on. So let's get mechanics out of the way. Let's get the techie bits out of the way. Graphics. Oh my goodness me. The graphics are amazing. I'm not a film person. I'm not a techie person, not really. But they were a knockout. I was really impressed. The sound design. Oh, so grimdark. So quintessentially 40k. I couldn't think of a better soundtrack. It was such a good soundtrack. So well written, had this slightly gothic feel to it, dark classical. It was fantastic. Fantastic sound design. The character models were very human-like, very well rendered. I'm not saying that they looked human, but they looked like human within the art style, which is probably more important than looking super realistic. They fit the art style, and everything was... Excuse me, sorry. Everything was just, on the surface, looked incredible. Earphones sound incredible. No complaints there. Where I do have a couple of issues is in the plot and the character design, in a way. So the story, the prologue it's about 8 minutes length, follows a character called Marcus, who, from what I could gather, was an Inquisitor of the Ordo Hereticus, I think. He's definitely an Inquisitor. I'm going out on a limb by saying Ordo Hereticus. He could be Ordo Malleus, but this is Terror. Yeah, the film's set on Holy Terror. There will be a spoiler warning on the front of this video, by the way. I'm going to stop before, if you have missed that, spoiler warning. We'll be discussing some of the stuff in the video, even if I don't intend to. So you have been warned. Anyway, so Marcus, he is an Inquisitor, I assume Ordo Hereticus, and it takes place on Terra. And in the opening sort of mini montage where you introduce him, it's literally just him stood looking over this parade that's going on. This parade is completely irrelevant to the plot, as far as I can tell, but it's him looking over this parade, and he's approached by his inquisitorial lackey, who tells him that they're ready to do something. And to quote, he says, "We'll show," roughly, to paraphrase, it was something like, "we'll show them a little parade," or something like that. And it sets him up to be this renegade, that he's going to be the antagonist of the movie. Because the Lord Inquisitor, as far as I was aware, or at least as far as I perceived, has something to do with Inquisitor Kotias and the Grey Knight. So it made sense to me, thinking about the Ordo Malleus, that maybe Marcus was possessed in some way. And so it was going to end up, he was the antagonist for Kotias. If that ends up happening, then I'm just psychic. Anyway, so the problem I have with Marcus is kind of threefold. One, he's set up as the antagonist. This could be a really nice design choice, but when it's just a prologue 8 minutes long, there's no other fleshing out. When your protagonist looks at the antagonist, okay, fair enough, character design. Second of all, he doesn't bear the seal of the Inquisition. Now, he's an Inquisitor. A Inquisitor who, to quote, does not know mercy anymore. Which means he's been around for a damn long time, even if it doesn't look it. So why does he not carry the seal of the Inquisition anywhere? I mean, he's only wearing like combat fatigues, or a greatcoat of some kind. He's not wearing like proper armor, but his clothing does not bear the seal of the Inquisition. It bears the Aquila in 1-2 places that I could see, but I could not see the seal of the Inquisition anywhere. Maybe it was on one of his greaves or his vambrace and I just missed it. But for Lord Inquisitor, as I'm assuming Marcus is, assuming he's the protagonist of the movie for the moment, there's no seal of the Inquisition like here. I'd expect it here or here on the back of his greatcoat, or maybe here, or the Aquila's here and his eye is here. It isn't, and that threw me off. Thirdly, and possibly most annoyingly, and this is kind of leading back to point one, he's a sarky bastard. I don't swear a lot, and I probably shouldn't have done that, but oh my god, he's sarcastic. He's like, imagine if the Joker was an Inquisitor with an Irish accent. And you kind of get Marcus, because he talks to his target. I know nothing about who this sodding person is. It doesn't give any context as to who this person is, but prologue, so fine. And he's just toying with him. He doesn't go through any formal procedure, and when he actually comes down to pass the Emperor's judgment on him, it's like, in the name of the God Emperor of Mankind's Holy Inquisition, I pronounce you excommunicatus traitoris. He sounded exactly like that. He just completely sarcastically deadpanned it. There was no gravitas. I can't really explain what I expected him to say there, but I expected it to sound like he was taking his job seriously. I expected an, in the name of the Holy God Emperor of Mankind's orders of the Inquisition. You know what I mean? I expected it to be somber, to be grave, to be serious. And it wasn't. Maybe I just had my perception all off in how I think an Inquisitor should behave. But when your Inquisitor reminds me more of the Joker than anybody else, then maybe that's a mistake? It could have just been in the acting delivery. It could have just been in the voice actor's choice of delivery. Although it will have got through the cutting room floor, so it can't have literally just been down to the voice actor on the day. While we're talking about voice actors, generally the voice acting is alright. It's not like grade A actors, but it's passable. The one exception is in this opening little segment, the very opening of Marcus's character introduction. He's approached by this lackey, and the lackey, it just sounds not bad, but it sounds wrong in some way. It just sounds off. And again, it may have just been my perception, but it looked like the lip syncing was a little off on that line as well. He was only in the background when he said it, so I couldn't get a proper look at his face. It wasn't like a close-up, but it just looked like the lip syncing with his voice acting was a touch off. I'm willing to be wrong on that, because I've only seen it once. I sat down and then literally got my thoughts together and then recorded this. But I don't know. The voice acting was standard. I mean, it's not... Maybe we got spoiled by text-to-speech, okay? I think text-to-speech, as far as fan-made YouTube series and 40k stuff goes, has got amazing voice actors. We're spoiled by text-to-speech, particularly the core crew. We're so spoiled that maybe we look at this and we think, well, it's not as good as that. Maybe we shouldn't do that. But in my opinion, the voice acting was passable. Not stellar, but passable. I'd certainly, as long as this lackey isn't the main character for the rest of the movie, I'll let it slide. The last two things that confused me, well, not confused me, but made me, you know what, and then got back to the movie. One, the movie takes place on Terra, and Terra looks no different to any other Imperial world. Like, if you had told me this is a random Imperial shrine world that's been very well developed and possibly is a recruiting world for the Imperial Fists, because the Imperial Fists are involved in the parade, then I would say, okay, Fine, I'll buy that. And maybe that's the planetary governor. Fine, I'll buy that. But it's Terra. And while Terra is this sprawling city world, and you get the idea, the impression of this with how tall it is, some of the height, you can't even see the ground from some of the camera angles. You get that idea, but it didn't have the same, again, gravitas as Holy Terror. We never got, I don't know if you can, I don't know if there is a model of the Imperial Palace ever drawn, but we never see the Imperial Palace with the statues of the Primarchs perhaps lining the path to it, and the Eternity Gate that's, I believe, emblazoned on the door, one of the doors. That would have been an amazing shot, but we don't see that. You get the illusion that it's Terra, like with the Imperial Fist, the giant statue to Rogel Dawn, a lot of high-ranking Imperial stuff going on. You get the impression of Terra, but if you told me it's just some Imperial, like, important shrine administrator-y world, I'd buy it. Something was missing on it being Terra. Second is about the Imperial Fists, and this maybe is me reading it wrong. During the parade, the Imperial Fists are on parade with a bunch of other stuff. Like, there's so much on this parade, it's hilarious. And they've got warriors, and then we see some dreadnoughts, and then there's this ginormous crawler flanked by what I assume to be guardsmen, just behind the Imperial Fist dreadnoughts. This ginormous crawler. It's like taking up most of the street. And there's one guy sat on top of it, and he's wearing power armor. So I just see, okay, I see a dude in power armor. Okay, he's right behind the Imperial Fist. This is the chapter master of the Imperial Fist, isn't it? Maybe he's wearing artificer armor, and I've got that wrong. Okay, wait a minute. His armor's red. Why is his armor red? So who is this guy? That's never explained. He then gets this data slate just ping up in front of him. There's like a message from Marcus saying, target acquired. And I'm like, okay, who is this guy? Is he the master of the Inquisition? Is this the Inquisition segment of the parade with inquisitorial stormtroopers on either side? Maybe I've just read that wrong. Or is he the representative of the Inquisition on the High Lords of Terror? Or is he just some random dude who happens to have asked Marcus to investigate something? But then Marcus called him my lord, so perhaps not. So I'm a little confused by a couple of things, but it's a prologue, I suppose. I can let that slide. There were just a couple of minor things. But as much as it sounds like I'm critiquing really minor things. I'm critiquing one character's design, I'm critiquing one little bit of voice acting, and one little inconsistency with a character that I can't identify or two characters I can't identify, including the basic antagonist because it's a prologue. That's fine. So, the Lord Inquisitor prologue. If you haven't seen it, you really, really should, assuming I haven't spoiled it for you already. Anyway, links in the description. Go check it out. Go support it. I don't know if we'll get another segment to it anytime in the near future. I'm sure you can follow the people behind it. Erasmus, I believe his name is, the main producer. You can go and follow him. He'll give you some updates. I believe the Lord Inquisitor also has a Facebook page. You can go and check that out as well. If I find it, it's in the description. Or at the very least, it'll be on their description, I would expect. Anyway, so overall thoughts. What do I think of the Lord Inquisitor prologue? Well, it looks like a 40k movie. It sounds like a 40k movie. It kind of works like a 40k movie, although it needs a bit more plot before I can say that properly. And with the exception of, annoyingly, the protagonist, the characters feel like they belong in the Grimdark. And Marcus is just the Joker in an inquisitorial outfit with an Irish accent. Anyway, the movie looks great, sounds great, and I really think that if this was made into a full feature film, it would be incredible, as long as it got a good plot. But from the prologue, I'm really, really happy with that. I'm really excited to see what comes next, and hopefully we'll get something more. If you want to let me know what you think of the movie, let me know in the comments below. I'll be looking at other people's reviews, because I wanted to go into this blind as best I could. So I haven't looked at other people's reviews, but I'll be reading those, and I'll be able to use those in the comments, and we can have a proper discussion about it as well, combine everybody's opinions and maybe get a few people together and have a full long discussion about it. We shall see. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. My name is Michael for Tactica Imperialis. Until the next time, see you all again. Bye for now.